There we go. Look, it works. That's quite amazing, everybody. All right, welcome back to SketchCraft Live. I'm Rob Duenas, and this is me getting ready to draw. And joining me for a very brief amount of time is the ever sickly, tiredy, needs his blankie, Brandon Leheavy James. Say hello.
Hi everybody.
How's your blankie?
I'm a forever worn out person. I do a lot, yet I do little.
Hey Kyle, when Brandon logs off, if you're not busy, you can join on. But I think Kyle's on vacation, so I don't think it's gonna work out for Kyle. I tried to wait till he was a
He's on
little.
vacation yet. He's watching.
Well, I know he said he was going to Colorado, and I was like, Casa Bonita. Like, you gotta go, dude, if you're gonna be in Denver. Anyhow, see how bright it is back here? That means we're drawing. That's right, we're drawing. One Punch Man, Crafty Edition. We're actually gonna do this on crafty paper. I've never streamed this process yet. It's something I've been working on. I wanted to do it for a long time on tonal paper. Bought a bunch of fucking construction paper earlier this year, and now I'm making money with it. So I did a couple test pieces. I did the Violator, which I probably should have streamed that, but I didn't feel like it at the time. And then I did this little Wonder Woman the other night for fun. Just kind of warm back up with it. And so we're going to continue that process tonight with a one punch because I thought it'd be fun. And if Kyle doesn't pay extra for this, it will be in the store for sale. So he actually bought a Copic 8.5 by 11, but I wanted to do a nice big one punch crafty. Um, why not, right? Right,
Hmm.
Brandon? Why not?
Why not?
Let me zoom out a little bit.
Kyle says he doesn't take vacation.
Kyle doesn't take vacation. Kyle speaks about Kyle in the third person. So this is craft paper, cardstock, craft cardstock. I don't know. I got it on Amazon. 12 by 18 craft cardstock. They make more nice, lighter stuff. This stuff has a little bit of a texture, which I like. If you like it smoother, there's the Strathmore tonal paper. Strathmore tonal. So got that. In the meantime, I'm going to be drawing with red, mechanical lead, and Copic multiliners. Any questions about this process, Brandon? Anything you want to add to the conversation? I'm missing something.
I like it. No, I mean, I think it's gonna be cool just to see the yellows and the white on the craft paper. I remember when you did that April O'Neil test on craft
I'm
paper.
not coloring it full color. It's just going to be tonal.
Oh,
So nice try,
just
Brandon.
kidding.
No,
Just kidding.
it's going to be tonal. What I will do is I'll scan this in and I'll have the lines, and then I'll print it back out. And it'll take me about an hour, but I'll print it back out and have the lines and kind of set it up for Copic coloring and do a Copic color version of that to show you an example of how that process works. This kind of requires more work for me, but the end result is I get to practice, right? So this is the Violator. They didn't pay for this. They paid for an 8.5 by 11 Copic. So I took these lines, dropped out all of this extra stuff, and then did a nice Copic rendered version. Gave 'em a little bit of shade. And then I'll make a copy of this and Copic color that, and I'll get the lines and the Copic colors. And then I have this to sell extra or keep for myself, put on the wall, and make me feel better about my life. So that's the process we're doing here. You can color on top of this stuff. It takes a lot of fucking effort. I'm not doing it. So we're moving on. Yeah, that April O'Neil test just took a lot of effort, Brandon. Like, so much
Yeah,
effort,
it
it's just
was.
not worth the fucking trouble. This is fun. So just keeping it fun, dog. Keeping it fun. Put on some music. And if you see, I got my chef cappy on, my chef apron. That's how I like to work.
Hmm.
That's how I roll. All right, put that on. Get this going. And then I know Kyle likes the weird Satima, Saitama face, so we're going to just start with that. Let's go ahead and. What's up, Josh?
Josh gives us artists a bad name because he is ripped as shit, and it makes all us other artists look like flabby messes. By the way,
Well,
I'm
some more
like,
than others.
you right, not me, right?
More you than me. I just, I'm not allowed to work out heavily. You know that? Like, here's the thing. The reason why I like don't work out more heavily than I do now is because I get very aggressive. I get aggro. I start like critiquing my wife. It doesn't go. It's almost broken up the relate. It's like the same reason why I'm not allowed to play Monopoly. I get ultra competitive.
Oh yeah.
Like disturbingly competitive.
Um, every time there's a holiday, me and the wife's mom, well, me and the wife's family end up playing Monopoly, and every time it comes down to me and her mom. I mean, for like it gets to the point where we both just say, let's just walk away, because we will just sit there and just battle it out forever, and neither one's wants to lose. We're just like, yeah, this is going to end badly. Someone's going to flip the table. Let's just call it a draw. Once we beat
So
everybody else.
hiking is what I'm allowed to do because you're just too tired afterward. You don't come back all fucking motherfucker. Like you didn't just like lift a bunch of shit and be like, it's right. You know, start picking apart shit.
But yeah, I was like, oh, I'll check out Josh's art, and then I'm like, oh shit, who's this buff dude? I'm like, oh
Instead, you
shit,
just
that's
check
him.
Josh out, right? You're like,
No, I said I'd check out
did he
Josh's
remind you of
art.
Red Velvet?
I had to sneeze there. Oh man. So, anyways, I was like, oh, check out his art. I'm like, oh, it's pretty badass art. And I'm like, man, who's this rib dude? And I'm like, oh shit, artists aren't supposed to look good. I'm supposed to be buff. Damn it. Just sharing that. But thanks, Rob. Appreciate it.
It's your creepy story, bro, not mine.
Not creepy. I'm admiring someone else's gains.
hmm Checking your gender privilege.
So did you show him the face before you put it on, or he just gave you kind of
No,
the
I just
idea?
I
He's like,
said, dude, which way do you prefer, a serious face or the more weird? He likes the more weird. So I don't even know what gains are, bro. Like that just it's a part of my culture I'm not into.
gains are like getting bigger muscles. You go from decent size to bigger muscles, to bigger muscles. You're gaining
mm
muscles,
mm.
but like the terms like gains,
Is
getting
that
those
like a
gains.
top or a bottom?
It's a workout thing.
It's a workout thing. Gotcha.
Oh,
I don't know. You gotta help me with
I
these
know,
things.
I
I don't.
know, I know. It's just
I'm a
it's just like
simple man.
sports. You're like, look at that basketball player kick those field goals. Rah rah
Yeah.
rah.
hmm
Anyways, ass.
Fell right in my trap.
Yeah, I makes for good times.
Makes for good
Do you think?
times. Makes for all I collect my tears at night and save them for the apocalypse. You were gonna say?
Um, do you think they'll ever change his costume? Like give him a revamp, like in season
Hope
2 or
not.
something?
I don't know,
You
man.
think they'll stick with the same
I'm
thing?
staying with it.
I
I
always
hope they
wonder that.
just.
People have like iconic looks.
I like the simplicity of
Like
it. Yeah.
you like the simple look, yeah. Oh dang, Kyle said you fucked it up already, Rob.
Oh well. Not really because I get another pass at this. Too bad he gets the weird face.
You get the weird face, Kyle.
It reminds me of Kyle. But with
He
your
thinks about
hair,
you, Kyle.
Brandon.
Hell yeah, bald is beautiful, man. Kyle said you're the one with the weird face, Rob. He did not say that, but I improved for him.
Yeah, that sounds like you, improving.
I didn't see your chef's hat till right now.
I wear it because it doesn't have a bill in the back. The bill bangs up against my neck when I'm coloring or looking up to
Nice.
talk. You know.
You look like a line cook right now with the apron and the
Yeah, that's how I roll, bro. That's how I roll.
Rob's after Rob's doing this art, he's gonna go down to the local
I'm
kitchen and
I'm
start
whipping up
doing
some fucking
dishes.
shit right now, bro. You know, SketchCraft.
Nom 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 nom.
Hey,
Tasty art.
you can't say that I'm like a copycat. I don't got the side hawk with the fucking, you know, nice wrist bracelet, giant tattoo. Fucking, I need this snake tattoo on half my face. You know, I'll get the Conor McGregor. Fucking beard with the aviators. I'll wear the aviators. That I could do. It's bright enough in here. The light in here is weird. Like the way it's placed, I had to go with a lot of looms because every fucking light you couldn't see. I would draw and there'd be shadows over all my stuff. I couldn't see anything the first week I was in here. So I was like, I need as much light as I can get. So I've got 4,500 looms right now.
You have like you have like floodlights in movies where they got that
No, it's natural
control that big ass
daylight.
controller with a
It's
cord,
natural
and you
daylight.
hit like
No,
one of four buttons and it goes doosh, and the
no,
lights
no, no,
just
no, no.
turn
Because
on like
at 2 a.m., sorry, at 2 p.m., around noon, between noon and 2, you can't tell when the light's on or off. When the window's open, it's completely neutral. So it's just, it's just all day. It is funny though. I had a technician come in here to look at something, and then he turned it on. He's like, "Whoop!" I was like, "You may not want to. Gotta be careful with that one, buddy." But if you're watching these videos and you can't see the art, Brandon, it's kind of a pain, don't you think?
right.
It has happened in previous episodes where it's hard to see.
Is this gonna have a Geno plushie or anything?
No,
No.
it's gonna have an S Mart bag.
A what?
S Mart.
Oh, okay.
He's going shopping.
Nice.
No, man, this isn't the definitive, One Punch Man piece. It's just getting a commission done. I'm doing enough. I'm only doing the crafty look because I want to get good at it. I don't want to forget how the fuck I do some of this shit. I do have like rules, like it looks better when you do this. It doesn't look good when you do that.
Kyle says, "Wait, my favorite episode of OPM is the one with all the zany characters. I thought you were doing that one.
Yeah, Kyle's a funny
I think you
guy.
got enough zany characters with that. The Rick
Kyle's a
and Morty
funny
piece had
guy.
like 40 characters.
Yeah, the 6 month commission.
I should know. I did the fucked up flats for it.
At least it's getting me recognition. It's not like I did that and no one cared.
Yeah,
You know, like I'm putting efforts into the things that you know gave me some internet dollars. You know,
yeah,
I mean, I never get any traction on Tumblr, and it has like 500 plus notes. Which for me is pretty good considering I normally get like four.
right.
You know,
Sorry. Man, I can't wait for season two. I'll probably rewatch season one when we get closer to time to recap when we start doing season two, just to kind of go
it
back
holds
and
up,
just
bro.
feel.
You can watch it multiple times. It's not like you're gonna be like, oh man, taking forever. It's like I don't care how many episodes Full Metal is, I can just keep watching it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I tend to skip past the Shao Tucker episodes just because that shit's fucking depressing. Like I started right. I have two ways of restarting Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. Either one, I'll start with episode 27, which was the recap episode, which is nice because it kind of starts with Hohenheim as the main character. The only downside of that
Uh-huh.
problem is even though they show the highlights, you do miss like the King Bradley fight in the sewers. You know,
Okay.
that fucking
Yeah.
fight is badass, bro. Like, like when
Oh yeah.
he's fighting Greed in the sewers. I think that's my single favorite piece of animation of all time. Like that's like someone animated like the coolest Darth Maul fight that never existed. Um, th- if I decide that I want to watch that, then I'll kind of just jump to right after Shao Tucker when uh, Scar first appears. You know,
Uh-huh.
and just be like, oh well, you know. Never watched One Punch Man? It's awesome. One Punch Man is basically a story about a guy who's so powerful he kills people, he kills enemies in one shot, and he's
One
bored.
punch obliterates
Yeah, and
them.
he's bored. He doesn't really want that, you know. And he's like lazy, and it's like how they always say you can't write Superman because he's too powerful. Well, someone figured out how to do it. You know, it's awesome. And unlike our superhero shit, people can die in this universe. The only other superhero universe where people really die is Savage Dragon and The Incredibles. Isn't it crazy when there's more death in The Incredibles than there is in a Marvel movie? You know?
Yeah, it's a good. Yeah, I mean, I love it. The animation's amazing. The story's cool. The character designs are cool. The characters that are supposed to be lame, kind of, they're not. They're just cool, even though they're supposed to be lame.
I don't want to
Um,
ruin it. We actually did one after we did One Punch recap. So there's a playlist that One Punch recap where we sort of like just talk. First, the first couple of episodes were weird. We actually tried to go through every little highlight in an episode. That didn't work. And then we just get to our favorite parts or not so favorite parts of each episode. But it's a fantastic anime. It's one of those ones where you're like, so was there anything else like this? And you're like, nope. But the animation too was done interestingly. Like they actually got a bunch of guys who were like really good on the internet just doing random animations. Guys that were good at different kinds of fighting styles that weren't even professional animators and had them animate different scenes. So the animation is always changing during like fight
mhm.
sequences and stuff. Brings a lot of energy.
Yeah, and I think you summarized it well to say, kind of like if Superman didn't have to hold back, if he could just
Or if he just
hit the
couldn't,
people as hard as he
you know
wanted
what I
to.
mean? Like he just ah shit, you know? Because it's like I don't even think he means to. It's just
No, there's
uh,
times where he hits
so let
someone
down.
and just he's like, "Oh shit, oh that was easy."
And I'm really not for like rankings and power levels like they do on like Dragon Ball Z or X-Men 3, but it handles it well, surprisingly. Like it really reminds me of like the early issues of Savage Dragon in a lot of ways.
Uh-huh. I mean, it's just an anime that stands out. It just
In the
really
way that
has a
Death Note
unique
does,
take on
or
everything.
Attack on Titan stands out, or Full Metal stands out.
Full Metal,
Kill
Kill
la
la
Kill.
Kill.
Yeah. It's just one of those ones that really has its
Yeah.
own. That's why I'm like, what are you looking forward to, man? You looking forward to like Spider Man, or you looking for? I'm like, no, One Punch Man season 2. Like that's the thing I'm looking forward to the most, superhero related wise.
Joey has a question here, Rob. I was meaning to ask you last stream. I'm falling into having pose comfort zones and go-to poses. Do you have any action pose reference resources you can recommend?
Nah, I use silhouettes, man, and I just try to change it up. You know, you could always study things like animation and try to get a better sense of sequences that people have already like. I try to study from. I'll study from things that are actually executed. Like it could be like John Wick or The Raid. If I'm looking for something more realistic, if I want something more cinematic, I can look at like Gurren Lagann or One Punch or I just literally start with the silhouettes and just make it like I keep working at it until I get a headache and I want to quit and I hate life. That's usually when I break through. I mean, if I need something really specific that I can do, I can always take a quick photo. But I don't know, man. Like, there's so many. I don't really study a ton of like. I hate to say I don't study life. I do, but
Right.
I don't depend upon
You
photo
study life, but
research.
you don't mimic it. You don't. You can see someone doing a pose, but it's not like you just sit there and trace over someone doing the pose.
Yeah, and but if I wanted to be inspired, what I would try to do is figure out like the attitude, and I would probably like forego crazy perspective for iconography. Um, but you can always push perspective. You can do some fisheye lens. Look at some Thrasher magazines back in the day.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I'm hesitant for photo reference because people own those photos and they will come after you. I've seen DeviantArt photo chicks go after guys who are redrawing their poses, which is crazy.
Yeah,
Like they photos end up in a different. They have more protection than we do in a lot of ways. You can redraw Jim Lee shit and that's okay, but if you fucking redraw someone's photo, oh my god, it's weird. But that's why I like silhouettes because I can mess with foreshortening and not have to put a ton of effort into it.
hear that, Kyle? No effort.
That's what a novice would say.
That hurt my feelings, Rob. Joey says, "No effing way, you're effing with me."
I don't understand.
I
About
think it's
what?
talking about they'll go after you.
Oh, yeah, they will. Shepard Fairey got sued over the Obama photo. Remember that poster he
Really?
did back in the day, back in 2008?
Uh huh.
Yeah, that's from a photo. So he got sued successfully for that. Ever wonder why you don't see it?
No, I forgot about that. The Hope
Oh,
one.
yeah.
I thought they bought that from for like they settled. I thought
Yeah, no, he got
they
sued. They probably
I
settled
thought
out
they
of
ended
court,
up
but he
using it.
lost that case. Big time.
Uh,
And in t-shirts, you learn about it really quick, about photos and what you can, especially like when you work on like vehicle shit. You know, like you can't even use bumpers and rims and shit. All that shit's trademark. I was working at this place called ODM once, and they had this place called they had this brand. What's it called? I can't remember. And so this freelancer, I put this like it's like a lowrider kind of like car. And I guess he'd just taken this photo at a car show, and then just traced over in Photoshop, did airbrush rendering. But he even rendered the fucking. Not only did he rendered the license plate and the guy in the side view mirror, so you could see the owner of the car. So when they filed the suit, he's like, "Yeah, I'm in the fucking shirt," and you could see him. It was like hard to argue. Like, "Yeah, and the license plate." So he didn't change the. So they had to pay that one out. That's when you don't get a Christmas bonus that year because some freelancer fucked it up for everybody. Hmm.
when it are you going to ink in those motion blurs,
The
or do you kind of
lines?
just leave it there? Yeah, the motion blur lines. Do you kind of just you gonna fill those in, or leave them kind of the
Yeah.
red look?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't really plan this stuff out very well.
I'm just curious. Make a chit chat while I'm on here. Is what was your favorite? You like the what was it Unan? What was the cyclist name's the bicycle guy's name?
Moomin
Unan
Rider.
Rider
Moomin.
or Uman Rider? That
Moomin
was your
Rider.
Uman.
Moomin. Muman.
What
Moomin
does that
Rider.
mean?
I don't fucking know. Do I speak Japanese, bro?
No, but you know someone does, so I figured you would know.
It means Moomin Rider.
Is he still your favorite?
Yeah. Justice Crash, bro. That's the move I used to
It's
do
one
when
of
I
the
was a
best
kid.
moves there.
Yeah.
David says, and I might say the last name wrong, Quintana says, can't stay long tonight. Just saying what's up and loving the work you do. Keep it up. From David.
Ah, thanks, David.
All right, sir. I'm going to bid you adieu, and Kyle will probably hit you up on Skype.
Adieu. Not adieu. Bid me adieu is when you hand me your Mountain Dew. Here, I bid you adieu. Oh, look. Hey, that's probably a commercial, right? They just shove you one.
Well, this has been fun. Joey said he's hopping off too. Night, Joey. Have a good one.
Everyone. Hey, Kyle, if you want to hang out, hit me up on the Skype.
All right.
All right.
I'm hopping off later, everybody. Kyle, have a good night. Everybody, have a
Happy
good night. Bye bye.
Thanksgiving, Brandon. Bye.
Everything's awesome.
Hey! Brandon tags out. Kyle tags in.
We are the wrestling team duo.
Woot. The mega powers. The mega
Yes.
taters.
He'd be Mega Potato, I'd be French Fry.
Tater tot. Everyone likes tater tots.
Yep.
Or in Europe, you'd be pommes frites. Right?
It sounds so much fancier in Europe.
Yeah. But you gotta eat it with mayo. So you know, there's that.
Yeah, I don't really get any vacation until mid-December.
I thought you were going to Colorado for vacation. Because I guess you're just saying that
Yeah,
like as a
I
joke.
was there. I was there for 2 days.
Ah, I got you. Big vacation.
Yeah, I got off a job, went to Colorado for 2 days, came back, and went back to work.
Booty call. hmm Kyle's
Nah,
Kyle's
just
wooing some elderly woman, some fine octogenarian, right? I used to tell my friend that. He's like, "What's an octogenarian?" And I remember telling him once, I'm like, "It's an eight-sided gynecologist." And he was like, "What?" I'm like, I can't. It's like I'm being an asshole, you know? Fucking go look it up.
just break it down. Octo and generation.
Well, you know,
Generic.
smart people humor.
Yeah. Has it started snowing up there yet?
No, Monday it's supposed to.
Uh, Fun stuff.
Eh, I haven't driven in it in a long time, so that's gonna be a nice breather. But I learned to drive in El Nino
Hmm.
back in the day. Like I had a week, so like drawing in weird weather. Like driving. Being from California, it's like all right, this is normal, right? So the snow, I learned a little bit in Germany. It's not, it's just you gotta just like take your foot off the fucking thing.
Hmm.
But that's how I was taught to drive anyway. So it's not. I'm not a heavy brake guy. Boosh, that guy. I'm not. Cleaning your windows off is a fucking nightmare, but whatever. It's always something. I don't miss the 90-degree Santa Anas you guys got. I missed that. Like I dodged it. It's like I'm out.
See you later, fools. Yeah, I was camping and outside in Colorado at night, and I got my fill of cold weather for the year in those 2 days. I was like, all right, I'm ready to be warm again.
Then you get signed on to do like the Thing remake. You're like, we're not using any green screen. We're going to Antarctica. You're like, no, 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 for real, green screen it. Let's do sets. Yay, sets. Like, I like how actors are like, well, green screens. There's just nothing you can act to. Then they gotta. Then you meanwhile you cut to like Mark Hamill like trudging out in fucking Sweden back in Empire Strikes Back. And they're like 3 feet from the fucking door at the hotel, just like letting him go brave that shit. He's like, man, really, really like that green screen. Got any of that? No, man, we gave that up. Oh, wonderful. Isn't that great? Like they go through all this green screen stuff, and then by the time he gets back to Star Wars, they don't do any of it. Like he has to still actually go. He still has to actually go to Skellig Island and nearly kill himself and shit. Just it's funny.
Like, it's like, Mark, you had one line of dialogue and like a minute of screen time, and you almost died. It's like the worst ratio to like danger an
Yeah.
actor has ever done. these tone pieces have been pretty cool. I like what you've done the last couple days.
I think I'm gonna call it crafty style. People remember a fun name. Trick is that in order to do Copics, I have to sort of like redraw it. Takes an hour,
Hmm.
so it's a good warm up. Like if you stack them up properly. No line widths on the line pieces though. You know, just keep it single width when I do that. There's just no point. You don't notice it during the Copic rendering anyhow, 'cause I have to re-add the lines. It's been on my list for a while. I just one of those many things. You know, you're like, oh, I'll get around to doing that at some point.
Well, with all the free time you just have, I'm surprised you didn't get around to it earlier.
I know it's always a good time when you have all these commissions that are stacked up and deadlines. That's when I'll go and experiment. You know, dude, publishers hate it. You know, they really, because they see it. You know, like when are you gonna get that thing done? And I'm like, yeah, I'm getting to it, getting warmed up. You really could just get it done. I could, but I'm not essential. So,
Do you have another cover you're working on?
oh yeah, and I should
Nice.
be working on it right now, but I'm not.
Instead of doing this.
Yeah, because I don't care. You know, one of these techniques has a future, Mr. Anderson, and one of them doesn't. Like, plus, you know, like I meet my deadlines, but when I have publishers that take 9 months to get back to me and then expect me to fucking like drop everything and get on with their shit, I don't know. Replace me. I'll get to it.
So it's more stuff for that book.
They really need me.
Eh,
And for me,
Gives
it's
us
like weekend work, but last weekend I was busy. You know? Like I've been just really busy trying to get the studio, but the studio's not up yet. It may look like it, but it's not, you know? There's just little things like the print thing, the mailing
print
thing.
station.
Yeah, I can't like ship things. The printer wasn't even working. The printer I use for mailing, it's a laser printer
Hmm.
because you can't use inkjet because you know water and shit it needs to be waterproof.
Yeah.
That wasn't even working until today. It took 4 hours. I was supposed to like work on inking Final Fantasy, but I was like, well, it's fucking Thanksgiving week anyway, so I need to get this. I need to get this fucking printer thing knocked out because I ordered tonal prints, you know,
Hmm.
no noir prints, whatever I'm calling those. Yeah, so that noir thing is weird, right? So like, there's this, but then when I actually draw it on white paper and scan it in, then there's that whole coloring thing, which I was first going to call it creamy, but then it just seemed kind of weird, so I'm calling that noir. Even though because it's not going to be dedicated to red, it can be colored, you know.
Hmm.
And then there's this, which isn't the same thing, but kind of is. I don't know. I don't know, Kyle. You know, I overcomplicate shit. All I know is, you know, when I get responses like "that's amazing" and it takes less time to do than the other shit, I need to like consider that as like a learning tool. You know, like I perhaps should be doing more of that.
All right, if I can crank out amazing in half the time.
Right. So, like the noir thing is how I'm going to be doing my comic work from now on. My comic work, you know.
Hmm.
So that's just This is that's just the way it'll be, you know. Um, I gotta get back to the digital inking shit. So today I wanted to go see. See, I don't give my like. Here's the thing too, right? Like today I wanted to go see Arrival. I was like,
Hmm.
I'll go see Arrival because I had a meeting and I had to leave here to go do, and that didn't happen. I was like, you know what? No time today. I gotta get that printer set up because I just knew it was gonna fuck with me. It's just weird IP conflicts within Windows and networking shit. It's not even anything complicated. It's just I don't know what's breaking and where, and I have multiple computers, so you know, it's like trying to figure out what is going on here.
Yeah, it's sometimes hard to tell where in the chain it's breaking down.
Right. And then never underestimate uninstalling and reinstalling and doing absolutely nothing other than that, and it just magically works. You know?
Yeah,
Sometimes it just magically works. Like there is no rhyme or reason to why it.
it's always great when you try something, it doesn't work. You try it again, it doesn't work. You try it a third time, and then it does. But you're like, I didn't change anything.
Yeah.
Just decided to work suddenly.
Wanted this fist to be in your face when it's on your wall.
I just thought his hand was really heavy.
Like Mr. Heavyfoot goes. Did you ever see that Kids in the Hall? They used to do Mr. Heavyfoot.
No.
It was the guy who had like heavy feet, and he's always like taking forever. Just like Mr. Heavyfoot goes to the store, he doesn't get past one screen. It just sits there. This guy's like, it's just Mr. Heavyfoot. And they finally did one. Mr. Heavyfoot's on the moon. He's just jumping around on the moon, like funny Canadian humor. So if I stay on target this week, then I can go to the movies next week. This theater I asked, they'll have it next week. I called. You're gonna have it next week, right? Because I can't fucking do it. Then they're like, yeah, you'll be fine, sir. Just checking. But they have a $5 Tuesday all day, so
Oh, nice.
yeah, it's the only way I can justify. I don't think every movie. I don't know, man. It's weird, dude. You want to talk about that? Like, so I know like Spielberg's complained that they're gonna have like tiered pricing eventually, where you'll pay $20 to go see a super expensive to make movie versus like why should it be $20 to see? Why should it be 16.50 to see Iron Man and 16.50 to see Christmas movie? You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
or some $1 million thing. But then they go, well, that means smaller movies won't make as much money. I'm like, are they? Like, how well is it helping? I don't know. Will more people go see it? Like, rather than gouging everything out of a person, then will people feel like they're getting ripped off?
Yeah, I mean, I just think
But I'm
they
already
create.
doing it. Let me cut you off. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, if they suddenly mark up expensive movies, and you're like, oh, you got to pay like $10 more to see it, people will just be like, you know what? I'll just steal that,
But they're already doing
and
it.
it's free. Yeah.
I can go to a $5 all day Tuesday, and it's still 16.50 the rest of the week. You see what I
Hmm.
mean? Like, getting people into the door and then getting them to spend more money on shit like snacks or something beyond fucking nacho. They gotta have something, dude. Like, so I went to go see Fantastic Beasts the other day, and I have this IMAX theater out here, and then the IMAX theater is kept separate from the regular theater. I guess they built it separately, which is cool. And it's reserved seating, so that's nice. And I'm like, I don't drink a lot of soda, so I'm looking at it. I'm like, oh, they have coffee. Well, yeah, it's $3, but whatever, I'll get a coffee because it's gonna be a long fucking movie, right? So, um, it's like, yeah, we'll be right back. They sent a guy out to the Starbucks at the mall, and then he comes back with my coffee. I'm like, honestly, dude, I could have just gone to the Starbucks.
That now that's weird. Like,
Have you ever heard of that?
no.
He's like, sorry, man, I had to go. And it's like cold out there too. I'm like, I would have just, I had time. I don't, note
Yeah,
to Rob, you know?
how'd you like Fantastic Beasts?
It's interesting. I've thought a lot about this. And I almost feel like, we've done like wrap ups or talkbacks, whatever you want to call it, for movies or whatever. I feel like it's a movie written by a novelist in a lot of ways, right? Because it was.
Hmm.
Like, she's not doing things that are inherently script friendly. But,
Hmm.
like, at the same time, I'm careful to, like, go, well, I don't think that works because, quite frankly, I don't like the first two Harry Potter books. I think the first two Harry Potter books, I just skip them. I didn't like him. I'm like, this little fucking brat gets everything. You know what I mean? Fuck this kid. I was pro Slytherin. I saw that first movie. I was like, fuck the nerd. Like, why does he get it? They just took points away. They didn't cheat. They just beat their asses. Oh. So I was just like, why does that little kid get whatever he wants? I sort of feel like it took her three books. By the third book, she kind of got into her groove about what the repetition is. What the POV
Hmm.
is, what the tone of the story is. And I feel like she's doing that here just in a movie, you know? So there are things about it I like, and there are things about it that I'm like, well, you know, that's ho hum. But I don't know. I mean, like, you could say, well, they just threw a lot of CG characters. A complaint about the movie can be made that they threw a lot of CG characters at the screen. They just sit there. Similarly, I could be like, well, at least you get to know the world. You spend a lot of time in a suitcase versus here's this one thing, like here's Batman's Batcave. We never see that. You know what I mean? We never see anything. You just kind of go along to the next set piece, you know? And I know people have said 'cause she plans on like 5 movies and like, you, that's ambitious of you. And I'm like, well, if they're going to let her make it, then what do you care? Are you just haters? Like, I don't, it's not your fucking money. So I don't know, man. Like, there's a lot about it I like. I like the setting. Yeah, I mean, I like that people in that universe, whatever you want to say, man, good or bad, people in her universe, they die and they have sex. You know what I mean? Like, and there's war and there's fucking also goofy shit. So it's a hard main character to get into. But I don't know if that's a complaint that she may have intentionally done that. I know, like Max Lance was comparing the movie to Episode One. I'm like, that's not true. There's not one poop joke in this fucking movie. That's ridiculous. With all the
No
creatures, no one
Jar.
stepped in. Hey, with all those creatures, no one stepped in a pile of shit. Think about that. Like,
Which is a great metaphor for episode one.
yeah. I mean, he wrote the shit into the script. It says in the script. It's not like they just did that as a joke. That's in the script. So you know, I think it's going to take her 2 or 3 movies just to kind of like nail down what it is. But if they can make, I mean, it's probably the best universe created since Star Wars. You know what I mean? Like,
Hmm.
it has legs. So I think the idea of trying to nail it around a central protagonist is probably fruitless. She probably should just call it Pottermore. I don't know, man. Like, what do you call it? You know? So, but it's cool. There's a lot of likable characters. There's a lot of nonsense too. The question is, does the nonsense get in the way? And I didn't feel it did. No more than
Yeah.
in a movie like Willow or Labyrinth did back in the day. Like, and people love those movies now. They regard Labyrinth as a fucking work of art. I'm like, that's a movie in which a 40-year-old dude's hitting on a 16-year-old chick the whole fucking film and a puppet urinates into a pond. I'm like, you remember that shit? Like, so, you know, you make Labyrinth today and you're like, that's a pedophile movie.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy's got his codpiece.
That it's David Bowie. He can get away with it.
Right. So I still think, that movie's quite successful where, they still haven't figured out how to make, Joker work in a movie. A million fucking wands and creatures. And we're like, we kind of got the Joker worked out. Not really. We got to cut him out of all of our movies. That was my favorite story this week that they finally put out that Suicide Squad special thing, and there's still like very little Joker in it. You know, I'm like, yeah, maybe
Oh,
they just didn't like his performance. Like,
they did a special edition or something.
yeah, call it extended cut.
Hmm. Yeah, I went to the theater a couple days ago. There's a toss-up between Fantastic Beasts and Hacksaw Ridge.
Two
I,
different movies,
yeah, two totally different movies. I ended up at Hacksaw Ridge.
right? Yeah, well, that's two different things. You know, but I didn't like the first Harry Potter movie at all. So, they didn't really get me into it. Even the third movie, I was like, it's not as good as the book. Fuck that shit. I didn't like it until the fourth movie when they kind of wrapped it around that tournament. And I was like, okay, here's something I can kind of get around, There's a little bit of a mystery and shit. But none of the Harry Potter movies have ever been great films. They've just been sort of these adaptations. And so it's like, I'm trying to figure out, like, what was the great film? They're like, well, the third one. I'm like, what? Because it had creepy hands? I already saw that shit. They're called ring wraiths. There's ring wraiths and fucking frighteners. You know what I mean? Like, remember the first time he did the ring wraith thing? Like, so none of them are genius fucking cinema. They're just, it's a cool universe. Leave it at that.
Have you ever read any of Brandon Sanderson's books?
No. I don't read a
Uh,
lot of fiction.
okay.
Who's Brandon Sanders?
He wrote a series called Mistborn, which just got optioned for becoming a cinematic universe. And Brandon Sanderson, he completed the Wheel of Time series
Oh,
after.
I hate that shit. Okay. I don't like the Wheel of Time.
Okay.
I had to die, I had to die, I had to die. I just remember the first fucking, I couldn't get through the first chapters. Like, fuck this. You know what it is? I don't like high fantasy where they just endlessly describe shit to me. Here's the
Mhm.
fucking moss. Like, I don't, that's why I always like the Star Wars books. Because I already knew what the universe looked like.
Yeah.
Like, I don't need tons of fucking, he would just, and then, I don't know. And plus the guy, like, I remember reading it and not caring much. And then I listened to the audio novel and I hated it even more. Like, whoever narrated that audio novel needs to be fucking Now, I do like the Discworld series, you know? So I'm not against. I mean, that's some pretty descriptive shit, Like, so I didn't like the Wheel of Time. Sorry.
I haven't read any of the Wheel of Time. That's just a series that I know people have heard of.
Yeah.
I think that's that he does a bunch of sort of fantasy magic kind of using universes.
See, I'm not much for like when I was a kid, I didn't like Lord of the Rings. Dudes with beards and missing fingers freak me out. It's like biker shit, man. It's weird, creepy biker, scary dude. I don't. I thought bikers are weird. It's just when I was a kid, I didn't get it. I barely get it now, but Sons of Anarchy helps. Um, but that Cobbit cartoon used to freak me the fuck out when I was a kid. Little dudes missing fingers and shit. Mm.
I never did see the cartoon.
Mm. And the people who always owned it were always like my friends who had weird hippie moms. Because, like, I grew up in the 80s. So you go to the house and they have melted candles everywhere. A lot of. And look, now I realize, like, those are people that I really like, but as a kid I didn't understand it. Then again, my life was weird, so I was probably the weird fucking one when you really think about it. Like, my mom had a strawberry fetish. Like, everything had to have strawberries. everything. Cookie jar, tablecloths, the fucking, what's that pot thing you put on your stove to put the spoon
Crock pot?
on? No, to
Oh,
put a spoon on?
ladle. No.
What, but you know that shit you put on a stove to put your spoon on, whatever that shit's called?
Yeah.
Yeah, that had to have strawberries on it. It's my mom, man. I think everyone wants the next Game of Thrones, right? How many are there? One. It's one Game of Thrones. I hope they do the Wheel of Time and then turn it into like a big Hunger Games knockoff. You know, get like some real annoying teenagers who can barely act. It's amazing when the cast from Goonies can outact most of the fucking people in these YA films. I hate that term YA. It's like almost derogatory. I don't know, man. It's mean. Like the romance novels, you know? It's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Is there enough of an audience to justify? I was thinking about that today. I'm like, there's plenty of girls out there. They read this stuff. But it's mostly guys that go and see. Like, why do superhero movies work and YA movies are like looked down upon? Like, what's the inherent difference between that and say X-Men? You know, and it's like the
Inter-
demographic.
I'd say the internet.
No, the demographic, right?
Yeah,
Boys,
same thing.
boys are pretty much gonna watch X-Men. Doesn't seem like it should be that way, but
Nah.
because I remember the first time I saw Days of Our Lives when I was a kid, I was like, oh, this is like X-Men without powers. It's like there's Cyclops, there's that Wolverine guy. There's like you could easily work it out, you know. My superhero reading friends hated that shit. Like, there's nothing like fucking X-Men. Days of Our Lives, Bow and Hope, you know, like shit like that. Like, you see, there's not going to be any crawl to Rogue One.
I had heard those rumors a while back.
Confirmed today from Kathleen Kennedy herself.
Hmm.
It's like at first I was like, "That's cool," you know, and I need to change it up, you know, get these movies so they don't all look the same. Then I'm like, the more people, like my friends have no idea this is a prequel. I'm like, you know, I think you really need that crawl. Maybe they know something I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, they're the ones watching the film. I'm just saying that crawl would solve the what time frame this takes place in pretty quickly because you just say. But I don't know, man. Maybe it'll turn into like the movie takes another 20 minutes to open. And if it doesn't work, they'll just go back to it. Then someone will fucking fan edit the crawls back in anyhow, so it doesn't matter. It's true.
Thank goodness for fans.
When are you going to work on a superhero project?
That's a great question.
It's got to be enough of those going around, right?
Well, I was developing an idea with some friends about 2 years back. It started off as like their idea, and then they got lazy, so then I developed like the whole kind of universe, and then we didn't do anything with it.
And now no one knows who owns the rights, and there's a big battle before you even start making shit over who owns what.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, part of it was the girl who kind of initiated the whole thing. She just was super busy, and so after I developed all the stuff, I'm like, well, I don't want to just develop all the rest of it on my own because it's not entirely my project, you know. I'd rather
just giving them free money.
Yeah, I'd rather. I mean, I'm okay with that. Like, they're good friends, but I'd just rather put my energy into something that I can develop at my own pace instead of waiting around. Like, when are you guys gonna have time to kind of jump in on this?
Right.
So I told him like, hey, you know, I'm interested in helping out if you guys decide to do something with it, but
You think you'd be willing to do that with like one of my commissions? Like you just jump in and finish it for me?
Oh, sure.
Then pay me.
Sure.
That'd be the best.
I'll draw the bicycle man on this piece.
Yeah, Rob was taking a while, so I jumped in there, did my own commission, paid him. Good deal, Rob. Good deal.
It's the worst looking commission I've gotten from him, but like all the characters are like misshapen and
It's the
no
style, dude.
no dimension to it.
It's the style.
We call it sketch crap.
Sketch crap. Yeah, that's the sketch crap. Hello, crabbies.
You guys don't have any family up there in Idaho, do you?
Nope.
No.
No. I have some in Montana.
You're the sole representatives of the family line in Idaho.
It wasn't really. My family's not. They don't really like me, you know?
Alright. Fair enough.
I didn't do anything, but it doesn't seem to matter. You know? Apparently I didn't help either. So. Kind of fucked up his face a little bit, but I'll fix it on the other version. Doesn't really matter.
It's just round one.
Shut up, Kyle. You're gonna help. Thanks for that. Just more work. I was initially going, you know what? I'm like, not gonna do the crafty version. I'll just fucking draw this on white, print it out. I'm like, fuck it. You know, just do the fucking version.
Yeah, it's okay if you screwed up. You're like, Kyle's gonna buy it anyway. No matter how bad Rob screws it up.
No, what it was is I didn't record any of the last two that I did. I'm like, I'm gonna forget
Hmm.
how I did some of this shit, so I need a record somewhere.
Because I saw like your Instagram posts, and I was like, oh, is are my YouTube like notifications not working?
No, I didn't.
I was like,
When I really don't know what I'm doing, sometimes I don't need the added trouble of streaming, you know?
yeah, it's hard to like do development on something brand new in front of an audience.
Right.
You're like, dude,
It
I'm just
is.
trying to
It's easier in the middle of the night when they're mostly sleeping, but
Mhm.
even then.
Morning, Dom. Welcome to the stream.
What's up, Dom? It was funny. So I finally crossed 10,000 subscribers the other day, and I had yet to like turn on a few of the videos. And I'm like, the minute I turn on a video, I'm gonna lose the 10,000. So I just enjoyed it for an afternoon. Turned on the videos, lost subscribers. Every time I activate a video, I lose people, and then it goes back up like a week later. But it's funny. So we hit 10,000, and then we lost it. So we get to do this again.
Oh, it shows 10,000 right now.
Did it go up finally?
That's what our live stream shows, 10,000.
That's not always accurate.
Uh,
It might be older data.
I was talking to this guy who does knife reviews, and he's like, yeah, do like these YouTube videos, and I don't get too many subscribers. not a whole lot of people watch them. But I make them like an hour long. How do you think I could get more subscribers? I was like, make them shorter. Like nobody wants to hear someone talk for an hour about one knife.
Well, they do. It's just not in the numbers he wants.
Yeah,
That's kind of the thing. Like, they'll be there. It's just not that many people. It's like what I'm doing is pretty niche, dude. It's not like I'm sitting here fucking playing Overwatch. So it's a little bit of a more niche crowd. I don't expect. I'd like to be able to get comparable numbers of people also doing it. Not like the elite fucking. They got a bunch of crazy. They're just drawing Dragon Ball Z all day people. But it grows.
yeah.
You know. I mean, technically, it says I started this in 2006, but it's not true. I really started it about 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago. So it just sat here. So and but I will take it. Take all the wins you can get, right?
Yeah. I mean, let me look up how many subscribers I have. I probably have like might be up to double digits now.
Nice.
Let's see, where am I? 62. Yeah.
Awesome.
I mean,
7 more away from a bad joke.
yeah. I've probably uploaded a total of like 8 videos.
Over and under on Brandon making that joke and thinking he was like clever. 80%. Yeah. Hey, 69, Kyle. Hey, hey, you got 69.
I've uploaded 5 videos. The last one was 2 years ago.
Amazing.
It was 4 years before that.
What if he had 4 million views on that? And I'm like, you know what? Fuck this shit. It's possible. You should just like be like, you should be like the too old Nerf guy. Like you're really into Nerf, but you're super old. And you should like do like a real crazy right wing, what do they call that alt right now, but super crazy like NRA style like Nerf guy. Gonna wear like a bald eagle tie and shit. You know, you know. Nerf. Nerf Patriots or some shit like that. The Nerf Patriot. You get like cease and desist orders from Nerf. We don't want you. We don't want you representing us. We don't really like you, Kyle. Like, you know who should do that? That would be fucking amazing. John Goodman. Yeah, you could just play like Walter Kochek, but do like a Nerf channel as Walter.
Just as long as they get like Steve Buscemi to like
Yeah,
make
I get
guest
Brandon and
appearances.
you. You could be Steve Buscemi. I'll get Brandon to fucking grow his beard back, and you guys can. That could be your thing, man. Yeah, no one ever wants someone else to tell them what their thing can be. Generally, that means it's a it's a goof. I think there's a lot of legs in it, though.
I mean, people have become internet famous for way stupider things, so
Hmm.
that could be my
Look at Zach Braff. You know? You could be the next Zach Braff.
jeez. Don't know that I want that for myself.
Come on. Your last name's gonna be Braff. Think about it. And then you gotta do it. Your last name's right. All right. You don't want to be compared to Nazis, but with Nerf, it zeroes it out. Did you see that picture of LA traffic for
The
Thanksgiving weekend?
405.
Yeah, looks like a
Yep.
giant candy cane, just like
Yeah.
landed like a candy.
Yeah.
It looks like the world's craziest fucking like Christmas lights are set up.
Yeah.
I was telling Brandon, I was like, you probably like if Seinfeld were now, even Curb Your Enthusiasm, well, they did a whole season while he's just stuck in that traffic. Like it's just all the episodes, you know. Just call the show 405 or something. Like you're just stuck on the 405.
Yep. I'm glad that all my jobs are this side of town. Don't have to go on the 405. At least not till Sunday or Monday or something.
Not until you have to.
Yeah.
Hmm. Hmm.
This one punch reminds me of a Foo Fighters music video where they grow these giant hands.
Oh yeah, I remember that. That's funny.
It's, I think Michel Gondry directed that one.
Shocking.
Yeah. Imagine that.
I think that one is dead.
Your pen,
Yeah, that one died.
end of life.
It did its job.
Dom asks if anyone know when Series 2 is airing. Have you heard anything,
Yeah,
Rob?
season 2 comes out this year. I don't have the date though. Probably not till summer. Summer or May. Yeah, somewhere around summer, which is May, right? So.
Now, if I remember right, isn't part of the problem that he hasn't drawn
No, that's
on the
Attack on
comic
Titan.
books? Or okay,
And they've decided that they're just not caring. They're just gonna move forward, and then I imagine if it's super successful, they'll do a more closer adaptation later. The same thing they did with Full Metal. That's why Brotherhood is the better one because her story is way better than what they came up with. Not their not their fault, but with anime, it's not even about who watches it; it's the merchandise, 100%. That's where they make all their money.
yeah.
So if you really want to support anime, you got to buy their shit, their shirts. There's a shirt out there that's just flesh color with his eyes and mouth smiling at you. You should get that. Wear that to the Oscars. That would be fucking amazing.
We'll see. They may misplace my Oscar invite again this year.
You can be the Modoc of One Punch outfits. Well, you can get the Golden Globes, right? Anyone can get into that. I have a friend who got into the Golden Globes. It's not even that hard. Same guy who did Arrival's doing Blade Runner too, right?
Yes.
Gives you hope.
Roger Deakins is shooting it.
Say fuck this one up. There's no excuse.
Yeah. They definitely did not go with the B team on this one. Do you think you'll try out that new Nintendo system that's coming out?
I'll be buying it day one.
Ah,
I buy every Nintendo system. I made the mistake one time of not doing it when it came out. It's called the Super Nintendo. And it was a painful 4-year fucking journey to finally convince my father to let me get one.
hmm.
I like Nintendo games, you know. So American games I'll play on PC. They're cheaper and I can get indie games better. Um, I use my consoles for Japanese games. So if Nintendo only has Nintendo games, I don't give a shit because that's what I'll play, you know. But I'll say this, man, like the Wii U allowed you to play a lot of their games just on the pad,
Hmm.
and that's how I was able to actually finish games because I could sit in bed, you know what I mean, play it, get tired, go to sleep. So being able to have a system where you're literally just taking it everywhere you go, and if you want to play on your TV, it's also recharging it simultaneously. It's a game changer.
Yeah.
You know, like people I think are underestimating, you know, whether they're able to capitalize on it, I don't know, but that idea, that function is pretty fucking awesome, you know? And so for that alone,
Yeah, it was kind of like the Wii U was sort of the halfway step where they're like, let's kind of try this handheld version of a full console, and then
well, it's like they didn't
nothing
know
would.
what to do with it.
Yeah.
So they've had all these options you can do, you know? And then set on what people like, kind of like thought were important. Plus, with their mobile, they kind of like, they didn't make two versions of every fucking game, just two different departments. There's two versions of Smash Brothers, you know? Two different teams working on two simultaneous versions, which takes up double the shelf space. So if one game is both mobile and platform, you could focus more on just making games and content versus making multiple games,
Hmm.
multiple versions of the same game. Now, whether they actually spend that time making additional content or they just try to milk the fuck out of it, I don't know. You know, I'm hoping that they're going to be spending more time making content, but we shall see. Probably got caught up on Westworld, so I have that. They can't spoil me now on Twitter.
I still have not progressed past episode 2.
It's good. It's worth the effort.
I'm still trying to figure out, like, we're trying to figure out why the HBO Go password is not functioning. So, gotta get that fixed.
Duh, Switch.
Oh, Dom, we were talking about. Oh, you just beat me to it.
The one
The
time I look up.
Switch. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't convince people to buy things anymore. I don't care. You know, it's like politics or fucking Coke versus Pepsi. Whatever you want. I don't give a shit. You know? But when it comes to me, I'll buy it. You know, I'm not buying that NES Classic because I don't give a shit. I have emulators. I care about $60 for a bunch of emulated games. I already got them. But I'll have to pre-order it. Best Buy's pretty good with that, though. I've done it the last 2 times. So, and if I can't get it when it comes out, then I'll just wait 3 months and then they'll be everywhere. That's how it works. Got enough to do. You know, Kyle's be like, "Where's my commission? I'm playing Nintendo Switch."
Yeah. That's me. I'm always just bugging Rob. Rob, where's my commission?
I know. Kyle.
Just nonstop. Just harassing you.
It's true. It's true. Metallics are going to take a little while to get here due to holiday shipping. I don't think they're going to be here till like the 1st. Whatever.
No worries.
It's that time of year now. You know?
And like the first part of the year, I was working just in LA, and like these last couple of months, I'm just traveling so much. So
Dubai,
Dubai.
Paris. All the
I
places
w-
where there might be World War III breaking out.
yeah.
What if it's you? What if they murder you and that's what incites the world to like
I I don't think the world would get that incited.
battlefield themselves again, you know? Did you hear about the M drive? That's pretty cool, right? Bit of good
The
news.
the the NASA thing.
Yeah, like it
I, I
works.
s- oh, I saw something about
It
it on
actually,
Facebook.
but and actually, they actually put in peer review documents, not just they're going to. They have actually announced, yeah, it does. It actually works. You know,
Okay.
it's crazy.
Yeah, I saw
Um,
something on Facebook, but I didn't know if it was just one of those things that people post like it works, and then
yeah,
you read the article, you're like, yeah, that doesn't.
they don't know how much they can do, you know, but they just want to get it, you know, past the is this even worth pursuing?
Yeah,
So,
that's cool.
but what's weird about it to me is if you know anything about UFO conspiracy, Bob Lazar, the guy who sort of outed Area 51 back in the day, that's exactly how he described the UFO working. You look at an M drive, that's exactly what he described. I'm just saying. Hate to be that guy, but you know.
Should I be doing a documentary on this?
As long as it doesn't take place in the state of Wisconsin, yeah, you'll see some track on that. Did you hear about fucking Brandon Dassey getting ordered to be released, and then the state of Wisconsin put a kibosh on that again?
No.
Yeah, it's another last minute fucking crazy injunction. So corrupt that fucking. It's so ridiculously corrupt, you know. It's not even good at hiding what it's trying to do.
Well, it'll make for an even more dramatic season 2, I guess.
Right.
Watch, we find out it was Netflix that stepped in. It's like, yeah, don't let him go. This will make our season 2 even better. They're just overproducing it.
It's almost as if someone was like, Twitter's too happy. Let's fuck with them. You know?
Wait, is Twitter ever happy?
They were that for a brief moment. There was like, you know, some unanimous fuck. At least some. No, it's over. You know?
They have their bots and analytics running, and it measures overall happiness. Once it reaches a certain threshold, just like, gotta shut down this happiness, guys. Happiness doesn't pay the bills.
I did when Jim Henson was around.
Yep.
Christian Science took that all away from us. That was why he died, man. He didn't believe in that, like going to the doctor shit. Apparently. Cause
Yeah.
I never knew that. I was like, it was like a couple of years ago. I was like, you know, what the fuck did kill Jim Henson? I looked into it like, oh, he didn't believe in any of, oh, fuck. You know, like, sucks.
You go to the Wikipedia article, and it just says, "See Steve Jobs."
It was less about like tragedy and more about just, you know, nonsense. Rob Dressman can find. I don't know, man. I haven't been busy doing a lot of other things and drawing past couple weeks, but we're getting back to it.
Such as raking leaves.
That has to be done. So, it's part of the fun, right?
Yep.
But I make an hour a day to clean, so it doesn't really add much to my work schedule. Hmm. Probably should have done that tall, but whatever. You do live and learn. That's why you gotta do these. It's gonna take like a few dozen of these to get like, oh, that's how I do it.
What is it you didn't want to do, tonal?
I probably should have done those speed lines a little bit more tonal, but
No.
it's neither here nor there, you know. Yeah, they test. Yeah. Did you watch 11/22/63?
Not yet.
Given today's date, you didn't feel the need to.
I think it's like 5 or 6 discs down in my Netflix
It's good though.
DVD queue.
It's good though. Surprisingly, the only reason why it's the last, I was like, the last thing worth paying Hulu for. Then I got out. That's the JJ, quotient. That JJ Abrams just. I'm probably gonna watch Fargo season 2 next week. I've been saving it.
Nice.
Yeah, right. It's nice when you can just be like, no way they're fucking this one up. Here we go. Not like True Detective. If I want to see someone pretend to be Michael Mann, I'd just go watch a new Michael Mann film. Like.
Like, you can get the real deal.
Still, I think True Detective season 2 is still better than Miami Vice. And that was Michael Mann, so, you know. Answering the age-old question, who doesn't want Colin Farrell with the mullet? Well,
According to our test audience,
most test audiences.
yeah.
It's almost like that movie was designed to be something you pack in with the PlayStation 3. Like or 4K Blu-ray, you know what I mean? Like, you get that with the 4K. I'm like, but I would never pay for that. This is no benefit to me. It's like, oh,
Like,
you'll get
well,
Resident Evil 3D in 4K. I don't care. It could have 3000K. I don't. It's Resident Evil. Like, who the fuck gives a shit? Like,
more K's does not solve the problem I have with Resident Evil 3.
yeah, the K isn't the problem. You know, someone didn't get the memo.
I will admit, I'm considering jumping into the 4K
I
Blu-ray
knew. I knew you
just
would.
just because of Planet Earth 2.
Yeah, whatever. Whatever your excuse is. I had the same excuse for getting the HD fucking DVD back in the day because of fucking HD Golf. I'm like, I don't like golf, but HD Golf's pretty amazing. Or Transformers. That was my big excuse too. Well, they are gonna have Transformers, and I don't know if Blu-ray will, and I think Blu-ray's a better deal, but it will look amazing. I got the Planet Earth on fucking HD DVD. It was the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's pointless.
Well, I will admit I do have an HD DVD player
I know.
still.
I know. I actually gave mine to Goodwill, and they were like, "What is HD DVD?" I'm like, Goodwill was like, "What is this?" I'm like, "Just take it. Here's Heroes Season 1. Here's Transformers, Planet Earth. It's enough, right? What more do you need?"
I at least got in late enough in the game that they were doing all these promos. They're like, if you buy a player, you get like 8 free movies or something, and
That's what I did.
so basically it's like I buy the movies, they give me a free player.
Yeah. The only reason for 4K is 360 video, as far as I'm concerned. And there isn't enough. There isn't any 360 video content really. So the future of TVs is not giant TVs that are on your wall. It's holographic projection, AR, VR, whatever. They're just stringing along the TV industry at this point, trying to sucker you in. They're not getting me. I want to hear about how it's OLED. It's way better. Fuck you. I'm going to the movie theater. They don't have OLED. You know what I mean? It's got a film projector. Stop it. All I do is watch YouTube videos. We're going to watch YouTube videos in 4K. You know what that shit's going to look like? You know, when I fire up my friends' DVDs, what is that going to look like? Shot on video. You know what I mean? Like, no one cares. They almost got Brandon into that 4K. I talked him out of it. So you're just wasting your money. Give me $2,000, Brandon. I'll do more with it than that TV's going to do for you. I mean, I get maybe you because of what you do. You know, like it is slightly job related, but even then, I don't know. You make Netflix videos. I know I'm just fucking with you. What are you really going to use that for, Kyle? I can watch South Park in 4K. It's South Park. They ever get you on like South Park DVDs and it's like 1080p? Like, but it's South Park. It doesn't really.
It doesn't matter.
Right. Like it kind of needs to look a little crappier. Really.
That's why I'm saying Planet Earth 2. That's where the 4K is gonna be like, all right, now I get it.
Get your animal porn on.
Yeah.
Nothing could convince me of 4K. Nothing. Unless Nintendo said if you don't buy it, we'll never make another system, then I might.
They're like, our new system only works in 4K.
Oh, fuck. Fuck you for putting that out in the universe, Kyle. You know what happens when you do that? Some other fucker on the other side of the planet, which just happens to be Japan, thank you, gets that same fucking idea.
Yeah. At least within Nintendo, we don't have to worry. They're still stuck in like.
Sorry, so 20 years from now, you know what I mean? I'm fucked. Thanks.
Rob, 20 years from now, I'll buy you a 4K TV. All right, so you can play your new Nintendo system on it.
So 2016.
You're right, because Japan's working on their 8K already. It's like, what? That is so stupid.
It's ridiculous, right?
Like, nobody. It's like, even going from 1080 to 4K, like, most people don't have TVs big enough to even tell the difference, like, at home.
Yeah, they have to be super big. As I was telling Brandon, like, you need a 100-inch TV to really tell the fucking difference. So at that point, you almost need VR. You know what I mean? Or something that can project.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like obviously in a movie theater you could see the difference on an IMAX screen, but I mean, for real, dude, on a 65-inch TV, you're really gonna be able to. It's not the same as DVD to Blu-ray. You know, 480p to 1080p was a big fucking difference.
Yeah. And then going to like the 8K thing they're doing, I'm just like, A, no one has TVs that big. B, I get buffering even on like 1080 files sometimes. Like, and I have moderately fast internet. It's like,
Well, no one's
just
getting a
don't.
real true 1080p signal coming from Netflix. I don't care what they fucking think. You know. It's being compressed somewhere.
Yeah.
So you have to buy the physical disc to get the uncompressed thing. And even then, it's still compressed to put all those special features. So unless all those special features are on another disc, you're still getting a pretty compressed image, despite what you think.
Hmm.
So what's the threshold for like? That's what comes down to like, what your threshold is. For me, 1080p is a pretty good threshold, unless it's in VR. That's where you're like you need more K because you need all those pixels to wrap around you.
Hmm.
360 video makes a lot of sense for 12K, 18K. Then you need something that can process that shit. Think about it. You know, like
It's
you
a
got a whole
lot of
PlayStation.
pixels.
Yeah, it's a lot of pixels to render, dude. Let alone with the sound and everything else. So, your phone will. You think your phones are exploding now? Like, just wait. You ain't seen shit.
I mean, even on current VR, like VR headsets, I remember reading that they render like the center of the frame at like full res, and then like more towards the edges, they just don't render as high resolution because it's your peripheral and you can't tell.
Right.
And they just don't have enough processing power to process the entire thing at full res. I'm just waiting for holodecks.
Well, that's what the 360 videos is step towards, bro. You got to support it more than that 4K shit.
Planet Earth 4 be in a
Planet
holodeck.
Earth 360.
Ooh,
Ooh. See how I did that?
no.
Nah, nah, bruh.
Do you even 360, bro?
Hmm. Almost tempted to scrap it and start over.
I say Rob doesn't sound happy.
Uh, wouldn't be the first time I've done it.
Though I do like the idea of the pencil version and creepy face and the Copic and like serious face.
Aren't you getting enough right now, Kyle? Aren't you? Aren't you getting enough?
I'm getting too much.
Are you not entertained?
To tell you the truth, either face is fine. Because when you said that, I was like, okay, yeah, I think I told Rob creepy
I know what
face,
you told me. I wrote the shit down.
and then except then I went and looked at my text message. I'm like, nope, I told him serious face.
No, you told me creepy face.
Check your texts, man.
Fuck your text.
I'm just saying, you fooled me into thinking I said creepy face. So
I thought you said creepy face.
no,
No? Got that one wrong.
but obviously my opinion is weak enough that I was like, at first I believed you. I'm like, oh yeah, that's what I said.
I'm sticking by it.
If I had that strong of an opinion, I would have remembered for sure, without having to check my phone. Rob's got his thinking face on.
Oh yeah, I got the camera on me now. I guess I can't pick my nose or scratch my belly button like Saitama, right?
Yep. Was that Wonder Woman you did? Is that part of a commission, or was that just something you're messing around with?
Just for me. I'm not taking on any more commissions until the current commissions are done. That'd just be fucking mean.
I didn't know if it was just part of your backlog or.
No. Didn't feel like working on anything, but I wanted to be productive, so that's how that
Nothing
works.
wrong. Nothing wrong with that.
I just don't like the fucking giant black. This is frustrating. I'm gonna have to do this again. I just know me, man. I know me. I should have done a test on that first. Love it when I waste 2 hours of my time.
Just put some glitter paint on top of it and make it all glittery. And no one will know.
I'll know. That's the problem. Yeah. Well, might as well practice some alternative stuff on this before I chuck it. It's one of those nights, man. It does happen. Statistically, not every artist can be like, every fucking, you worried about this? No, I don't worry about it. If I don't like it, I'll just throw it away and start over. You know?
Yeah. You're like, I got the line art. Print out a new one.
Well, not really. I mean, I got the Ruffy line art, but it's not a hard character.
Yeah.
It's not, this isn't really super complicated, you know?
Yeah.
What I really care about is, do I like looking at it? And if I don't like looking at it, then it's a problem. I'll put the serious face back on.
Do whatever you want with the face.
No, Kyle. You texted. You texted. We gotta solve this problem though, because that's gonna creep back up on me. So I may as well practice. Black is not the way to go. I know Brandon was saying red, but I was like,
For the speed lines?
yeah. Sometimes he's right.
I won't tell him you said that. You don't want it to go to his head.
It will though. That's the problem. Like I've complimented him before, and it didn't end up very well. Yeah. Yeah, it needs to be red. He was right. Fucking dick.
Now, Rob, you can only be right 99.7% of the time.
Never tell me the odds, kid. What else? What else do I need to... See, the problem is I started it with the lead holder red, and I should have done with the mechanical pencil red. It controls differently. That's what I should have done.
What's the difference between them?
Just well, this gets you more coverage, and I'm not
Mm,
sold on this one. I have another one coming soon, a different kind of lead, um, and a different holder. So this feels a little. I like the way my other ones work, the ones that have lead in them. But if I put red in there, they'll get all fucked up. So it's about coverage, like the way it kind of like coverage down. You know, the color red between these two are the similar. The This one doesn't work so well on tone paper because it's pinker. On white, you don't notice, but on this, it becomes an issue.
interesting.
As I'm finding out, as I slowly learn how this all works. And then also how much tone to use before I sort of overdo shit is a
Hmm.
question. I haven't quite worked out what that threshold is yet. Damn it. Because the hand worked. I was like, I like the hand. Fuck. I gotta do it again. Ah, it's so frustrating.
Just cut it out, glue it on the other one.
Well, since I'm practicing anyway, let's see what happens when I do put fucking yellow Copic over this if it doesn't work. It won't be tonal anymore. See, it's too dark. Doesn't work.
Tonal paper, just yeah,
Yeah, it just eats it up, dude. You know,
yeah.
it's pointless. So, it's best to just do that so I can't go back, you know?
Hmm.
To be like, well, that's just how it worked.
Yeah, it
Um,
really just sucks up that yellow.
yeah, it'll just eventually fade. It just becomes kind of, maybe with the gloves, I can fit this. I think the gloves I might actually make complete red when I get done. Just so they look more like the gloves and not like his skin. That's the other part too. Like,
So when you when you're coloring his glove, it looks like your white pencil doesn't take any of the red. Does it? Does the white pencil like keep the red from like laying down on the paper? Or
you'd have to really push it, yeah, because it's
okay,
opaque.
yeah.
It's slightly opaque, right?
Hmm.
Versus like markers, which are slightly transparent. They lean more towards the transparent spectrum. So,
Yeah, I just noticed when you're going over the red that the white still really popped.
and I'm not using a ton of pressure.
Yeah.
You know, that's where with this you can do that with the lead holder because you can kind of go with the side. And if you want less pressure with the color pencil, just hold it toward the back, or even any pencil really. When you want more details, hold it closer. Want less? Hmm. Then I wonder. Yeah, so great. I get to do this again. Time is it? It's 12:50. Of course I'm out of time. Uh, 2 hours wasted. I chalked this up to my. You know what, guys? If I'm not streaming for 3 or 4 days, it's because I'm in hell. Certain kind of hell. You know, it's like light. I have to adult. Is that what the kids are calling it these days? I'm adulting.
Mm.
You know. So, I had to go get that stupid driver's license. And that was 2 hours plus. I was at the fucking DMV waiting. Then went to go take the test. She's like, "You're on number 14." I'm like, "Great." I go over there. She's like, "Oh, first I get there. She's like, 'Are you a veteran?' I'm like, 'Yep.' She's like, 'You have your DD 214?' I'm like, 'No.' She's like, 'Well, in the state of Idaho, you know, if you have your DD 214, they don't charge you for a driver's license.' I'm like, 'What?' She's like, 'Yeah, you can come back.' I'm like, 'I just waited 2 hours. Like, I can't go back. I can't do this again. Now I'll just pay the fucking $70. You know, like, fuck. God damn. You know? Then I go, she's like, 'You're on number 14. So I go to number 14. I go to start, and then some lady runs over, 'No, no, 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 that's the wrong one.' Uh, I passed the shit, but it was ridiculous. I had to get my registration, and it's a whole fucking nightmare.
All done though.
Took a week. I had to study. I took the fucking pre-test. I overstudy, Kyle. I hate to fail. So like
Yeah.
I must have done 30 tests. I did 8 practice tests while I waited on my phone, you know, from 3 different sites, you know, because I didn't trust any one site to cover enough bases. Fuck. So you want the serious face? Okay.
Put whatever face you want on there.
No, no. That's probably why I drew a serious face on there.
Wait, can you draw my face on there? I hear you
No.
love doing
It's essentially the same
that
face,
sort of
Kyle.
thing.
It's slightly more hair. Like it's not that big a difference, Kyle. To wrap this up, I am listening to the Star Wars Catalyst book, which is like the prequel to Rogue One. It's interesting, dude. No spoilers, but it's just interesting because they're trying to wrap in the prequels, like it starts during the Clone Wars.
Hmm.
And the writer's totally competent. It's well written. The problem is they made me hate the Clone Wars so much that I just don't fucking like. Finally, they got past it, you know, by chapter 7 or 8. It's like moves on. But I'm like, and then like every time the writer gets a chance to like try to like explain away some of the weirdness of the prequels, like they're talking about Geonosians and they're like, yeah, you know, they were way better than the Nemodians who had these weird accents. I'm like, that's because the Geonosians were the original concept art for the Nemodians, and when that racial shit went through and they could do CG characters, he just made a new race. You know what I mean? To replace the one that he fucked up with the puppets and the bullshit Japanese stereotype nonsense. And then they're like remembering how like the Republic just showed up out of nowhere. It was almost as if from nowhere. No, they did. They showed up out of nowhere. This whole fleet, no one noticed one sound. No one heard one Star Destroyer come into orbit. It's tough, dude. That being said, the way they write the new characters for Rogue One they're well done. You know? But man, that prequel shit, it just sucks. When I was a kid, all I wanted to see was the Clone Wars. Now I'm like, I don't even want to hear that fucking phrase, you know? It's just shocking to me. Shocking to me. I didn't know I hated it that much. You know what I mean? It's not like I'm like going into going, fuck that shit. I'm like, oh, it doesn't really matter. No, it matters. The names don't even make any sense. When you're talking about like the new characters are called like Orson Krennic and Jyn Erso. I'm like, all right, that's cool. Orson Welles, Orson Krennic, okay. What are the prequel characters? Poggle the Lesser. You know what I mean? You're like, fuck you. You know, like fuck you, Poggle. What, did you play Boggle? And you named it Poggle? Were you playing with your kids that day, you know? Like if it wasn't the game of life, it would be like Light Bright. It'd be like Brife Life. You know, like just naming shit after food.
It's like a really terrible version of the Usual Suspects.
Is it
It's
Darth Tyrannus or is it Darth Tyrannus? Which one is it? Is it a Tyrannosaurus or is it which one is it? Like it's just so stupid. Who cares? Dooku. Who would name their kid Dookie? Who? Like, I thought for certain it was pronounced Doku, like Dofus back in the day, but no, it's Dooku. It's Dookie. Duke. Oh man.
I'm telling you, George Lucas is watching Usual Suspects. He's like, that's brilliant. I'm just gonna start naming people after stuff I see laying around.
Floor. Floor Canada. I mean, may as well be, right? Florian. There you go. That's more. All fantasy names end with an N. It's tough, right? Like, Florian Katana. Yeah, that's good.
They've
Suzuki. Right?
yeah.
Clever. This kid named Jar Jar. Oh.
He's like trying to come up with a name. He's like, man, I'm hungry. Do I want this jar of mayonnaise or this jar of mustard for lunch? He's like, jar. Perfect.
Jar. You imagine when I piece it together? Jar. 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 You ever see that during the making of when he's doing the Jar Jar walk? He's trying to show Ahmed Best how to do the walk.
No.
And you gotta watch, dude. That fucking documentary they made for the very initial VHS release. I think it's on the original DVD release as well. I don't know if it's on the Blu-ray because I would never purchase it, but you gotta watch it because it's pretty fair. Like they spin it, but if you just watch the shit, you can see the real emotion. You know, and he's like showing Ahmed Best how to fucking like walk. He's like, oh, he does his arms, and you're like, you loser, you know.
Did no one in that moment see how terrible of an idea that was?
All right, everybody. This is 2 hours of prep to do this all over again. I will be certain to throw this in with Kyle's pile of shit he's getting. He's getting this giant
It's gonna be
care
like 80
package.
pounds.
It's like a care for real, dude. Like he's got this giant care package worth of fucking art coming his way.
Be like, Rob, I can afford the art, but I can't afford the shipping anymore.
Yeah. No.
It's just too
Don't
big.
worry, because now we're in freight and it's pretty cheap. It's just gonna take 3 months, but at this point, who cares?
I'll find a delivery dock for it to get dropped off at.
Just meet me in Vegas, dude.
All right, man.
You know, we'll go get some fucking bread pudding, and she pussy footed your way out of there to go earn a paycheck. Really quick. So the last time I went there, the waitress was the same waitress we had before, but we were originally seated on the balcony. We sat in the interior. I'm like, oh, you were our waitress from last year. Just Peruvian woman. And she's like, oh my God, yeah, we're from San Diego. She just wouldn't leave us alone. She sat down with us, took out her phone, showed us all of her trips to San Diego. Gosh, it's like an hour, dude.
That's why I never form any sort of human connection with people.
See, that's what I told my wife. I said, you see why I don't try to ever talk to people? You see what happens? This is what happens. This is what happens when you fuck someone in the ass. People don't even know what I'm talking about now. You know, like they just think I just made a really weird joke. You see what happens? All right, everybody. Where can they harass Kyle on the internet?
People can harass me everywhere, but best place to harass me is on my Instagram, which is listed below.
Yeah, it's listed below. I will be back on in the morning to restart this whole thing since I need to make up 2 hours worth of time. So I'm going to put 2 hours into this, and then I'm going to go work 2 hours on my print room. It's got about 3 or 4 more days worth of effort, but I need to. It's fucking ridiculous. Damn it. Well, all right. At least I get to fix the face. All right. I'll see you all in the morning, everybody. Peace.
Bye, everybody.